children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Hi there, you weirdos. Welcome back to Final Guys. This week, we are going to jump deep into the Pontypool, which is a, I don't know, what do you call it? Weird little pseudo-zombie film is the way I keep thinking of it.
It's a good way to describe it.
It's an odd little film. We're going to get into it, and it's going to be great since absolutely nobody can watch it because it's not available anywhere.
As of a week ago, it was available on Prime, and Amazon lost the deal.
I looked to see if you could even get DVDs or Blu-rays. The Blu-rays are going for something like $75.
Oh my God.
It just, you can't get this movie.
That's how good it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I am Jason Brant, joined as always by Monster Man Jack Campisi
Howdy ho, folks.
and Giant Dickwad Hunter Shea.
What up, Wad Dicks?
What dicks? Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I flipped it.
As usual, we're going to jump into some more news here, but let's get a little drinking game rolls in, even though I don't have a drink.
Me either, because you know what? We drank enough on our 50th.
Screw that. I'm drinking.
All right, someone
Actually,
has.
before you give the drinking rules, I'm curious, how hungover were you last Wednesday?
As soon as we stopped filming, I got up and did like 3 shuffling steps into the wall, and the room spun for 2.5 hours. It was a long night.
When I was listening back to that, you were saying shit in the background that was just like, and I don't think either one of us were completely hearing everything you were saying. It was ridiculous.
Mhm.
When you said,
Yeah.
"Oh God, I love amputees."
I remember saying everything too. That's the best part.
Oh God,
Yeah, it was. Hey, it was 50. You can celebrate 50. Damn it.
it was 50.
Wait till 100. The best part I did all night long, where you do this, like, and you're trying to swallow back the vomit.
All right, here's what the
tonight,
drinking
though,
rules.
Tonight, it's your turn, listeners, to get drunk. So, here we go. If we say certain words, you got to drink your certain beverage of choice. So, Jack, tonight your words are venom, kiss, and end. Kiss my end. Mine are zombie, quarantine, and countdown. Jason, you are DJ, audio, and words. And here are the bonus. If either of us say Canadian, tea kettle, or radio, y'all got a drink.
That describes every single thing in the movie.
Yeah, Sheridan was lazy this time. Whatever.
I'm surprised Pontypool's not a word.
Yeah, really.
All right, Jacko, what do we got? Please don't depress me.
Oh, I'm going to depress you. I'm starting off with bad news. Starz has canceled Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah, I saw that.
Have you guys
So-
kept up with the 3rd season? I haven't watched it yet.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I watched this week's right before I signed on here. And so I guess next week is the last episode. And they pitched it as a series finale on the at the end of the show of coming attractions.
Or at least
I'd
there's
heard-
that.
Yeah, I'd heard an interview with somebody with the show, like a showrunner, a couple of months ago, and they didn't think that it would be picked up. So it wasn't a shock to me.
Yeah, the season 3 ratings went way down.
Is it as good as season 2?
This season is tremendous. And I can't believe nobody's watching this show. It's awesome. It's I swear it's like my favorite show. It's
I wonder if
so
The
good.
Walking Dead is dragging all of horror down with it now.
One episode of Ash versus Evil Dead is better than all of Walking Dead combined.
I agree.
So Bruce Campbell actually came out, wrote a letter to the fans, basically saying he's retired as Ash. Good people, Evil Dead fans everywhere, I bid you a heartfelt farewell playing Ash. The character I took acting lessons with for 39 years. I'm hereby retiring from that portrayal. It's time. I followed Ash from his formative years through his midlife crisis and decline. What a thrill, what a privilege. We've had a great resurgence with the help of Starz. Kudos, not jeers, folks. They made it possible for 15 more hours of Evil Deadness in your life, equivalent to 10 more features. Is Ash dead? Never. Ash is as much a concept as a person. Will there be evil in this world? There must be one to counter, man or woman. It matters not. Thanks for watching. Love, Bruce.
Wow, I wonder who wrote that for him. I don't think he cares enough.
I think he does.
That's a
You know,
shame.
You guys ever see Bubba Hotep, where he plays an old Elvis in a nursing
Of
home?
course I have.
He's amazing.
Maybe we could get like Ash when he's actually that age in a nursing home, like 20 years from now.
My theory is in a few years, there's going to be a new Evil Dead with Ash Lee.
Ooh.
I like.
Now, once this happened, let's use this as a segue. The petitions on Twitter started firing up. Well, Bruce Campbell should therefore be cast in season 3 of Stranger Things. To which I say, hear, hear. How great would that be?
I think it would destroy it.
What?
Stranger Things is such a I don't know. He's not that good an actor. He's very it's
All
there's no
right.
subtlety to
You know something? I honestly...
there is no subtlety to his game. He is a very over the top guy, and he would dwarf the story. He would dwarf everyone around him, and then it becomes, oh, Ash is in the Stranger Things world.
I'm sorry, I forgot you don't like entertaining and good things.
God damn it.
I do, and I think my things should be separated sometimes. You shouldn't always put your thing on every other thing.
I wish you'd keep your thing off of our
I wish
things.
somebody told me that in high school.
Save you some warts.
Well, that's a hypothetical situation, but I can tell you a couple of guys who are going to be on Stranger Things season 3. The Dread Pirate Roberts himself, Carrie Elwes, will be joining, as well as the son of a legend, Jake Busey.
Oh God!
I don't know which either one of them is going to play, but they've joined on for Stranger Things season 3, which will begin on April 20th. They're going to start filming this month, and it's going to possible 2019 release date.
Yeah, I hate waiting that long.
Have I seen Jake Busey in anything since Starship Troopers?
The last time I saw Jake Busey was me helping him find his father at a HorrorCon.
How could you not find his father? It's not like he's blending in.
He was diving under tables for the celebrities and then popping up and pinching women on the ass.
Oh my God.
And the theme of that conference was, "Have you seen my dad?" It was really funny.
I would assume to find him, you just listen for the sirens, right?
You'd hear Adrian Barbeau go like, "Oh, Gary!" You go, "Oh, there he is."
All right, so Stranger Things. Sounds like...
So that's that.
All right.
Now, next piece of news. We switch to a property that I am not a big fan of this. I saw the original movie once and have not really seen any of the sequels, but there are people out there that are feverishly into this. I'm talking about Tremors. Where do you guys stand on Tremors? Big fans?
The first two, maybe.
Tremors, the first one, is an amazing movie. I watched it again maybe 2 years ago for the first time in a while, and I was blown away at just how good it was.
The second one I didn't mind so much either. And then there's how many? There's 6?
I don't know.
Something
They were
ridiculous.
flying at one point, I think.
Whatever.
Well, there's another Tremors movie that's going to be coming, I believe, to Sci-Fi called Tremors Cold Day in Hell, and that's going to have Michael Gross, the Family Ties dad,
Oh God.
as Bert Gummer. But I've learned that there's also going to be an 8-part Tremors TV series with freaking Kevin Bacon
In.
What?
And Fred Ward is going to be involved as well. I don't know how much, but
God damn, how old must Fred
and
Ward
it's
be?
coming via your pals at Blumhouse and Universal Cable.
Fred Ward has to be just mid-70s, right?
Yeah, really, he's got to be up there. But hey, he's in. I had no idea Kevin Bacon was going to be in a Tremors TV show. I knew he was going to have some involvement with something, but
Did you say
8-part
that one was
TV
on Sci-Fi?
no, the movie was Sci-Fi. I don't know where this TV show is going to be shown.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm down.
So I liked the original Tremors, but I saw it like when it first came out and haven't seen it since then. So I don't remember.
Actually,
So-
that might be a good one for us to review for this at some point. I'm telling you, it's really good.
It is. Yeah, I would do that. My wife used to watch them all like constantly. I'd be like, okay, honey, come on, watch Tremors 4.
We'll pick a slow week and we'll do Tremors.
Sheridan is saying Fred Ward is 75 years old.
Boom, mid 70s, nailed it.
Nailed it.
Thanks. Nobody cared that much, but thanks for looking that up.
I cared. Thank you, Sheridan.
Yeah, thanks, Sheridan.
So, y'all love Kane Hodder, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
Is he your favorite Jason?
Yep.
yeah. Why not?
Is he the only Jason you can name?
Yep.
At this moment,
Yeah, me
yes.
Well, have you heard about this documentary To Hell and Back, the Kane Hodder story?
I have. I've really been wanting
Yep.
to see that.
Well, it's got a release date, June 28th. Limited theatrical, VOD, and DVD Blu-ray.
Well, there we go. We know what we're reviewing that week.
Yeah, that's easy.
I'm really looking forward to those. I heard he had some pretty screwed up stuff in his life. So it should be
I
interesting.
can't remember how he got all his burns. Was that on the set?
It was a stunt, not as Jason, but that was a stunt that he was set on fire.
Ow.
Didn't go well.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, I've heard he's had some pretty crazy stuff happen to him. I've even heard the way they went about recasting Jason was not exactly on the level. But I don't know all the details.
Oh, when the what was the one they jacked him out of? Oh, Jason versus Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he should have been in
messed
that.
up. That was totally messed up.
Because the guy they had that for Jason didn't look right. Like it was.
No, Kane Hodder, just the way he did the breathing was just amazing. I don't know what it was, but it worked.
Yeah.
He had the like CPAP on.
Did you know he was actually the kid that came out of the water in the first one?
What?
It's great makeup.
God. Anything else?
That's it. That's all the news is fit to print.
You brought it back. Wasn't so happy at the beginning, but decent news. That
Good
Tremors
content.
thing, it has me interested. I can't believe they pulling that off.
Oh, and one more thing for Sheridan. The new Venom trailer came out, so go look it up.
Oh, I didn't watch it. Is it any good?
Yeah, they show the actual like Venom.
Does it look
Face.
better than Spider-Man 3?
It does, but I think a lot of people will be happy, and other people are going to be like, "Okay, whatever." I'm pretty indifferent on Venom, so I was one of the okay, whatevers. But
Is Sony doing this? Or is Marvel
Yes.
doing it? Oh, God damn it. All right,
Mhm.
whatever. All right, let's jump into a little bit of horror curation.
We have such sights to show you.
Hunter, you waste your life a lot watching stupid shit. You see
Yep.
anything this week?
I sure did. Oh, by the way, we reminded Vern Troyer, rest in peace, Mini Me.
yes,
Yeah. I
sad,
saw that.
sad time. Well, I watched a movie that I tried to get you guys to watch so we could do an episode on it, only because it's a theatrical release. It's Blumhouse.
and
So-
you're a douche.
Yeah, whatever. I saw Truth or Dare, which is
I'm dying to hear about this.
it's okay. You know what was wrong with movies in the 90s after Scream?
The look,
This was
the aesthetic.
the
Everything.
aesthetic, pretty people in pretty clean environments. It's all the failure of that. I think the movie's like an hour and 40 minutes. It felt like 3. It was just unbelievable. The two main girls are exceedingly pretty. So are the two main guys. I mean, it's just crazy. Possibly one of the best looking group of people you'll ever see in a horror movie.
One of the kids in that is from the Goldbergs. He's in the JTP. That's
He said, okay. And I know the main girl is in Pretty Little Liars. My daughter told me.
oh, Maron. Those are good looking girls. So I never watched the show, but
The
now
brunette.
I'm in. You had me at Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, yeah. It's so for eye candy, it's good. It's jerk nozzles in Mexico get lured to a church by a guy, and he makes him play Truth or Dare, and there's a curse, and the game follows you. Here's the deal. I saw it in a matinee. It was like 4:00 on a Saturday. People were screaming their full heads off and jumping. And when the lights went on, I go, "Oh, everybody here is 13."
I was gonna say how.
Yeah. So it's perfect starter horror. It's not for me. Even my daughter who's 20, it's not for her. But if there's a teen in your age, I think you're gonna dig it.
How much did it make this weekend? Anybody see?
Well, I know it made $25 off of me.
Oh, I forgot to look how much Truth or Dare made. The box office. That's what I meant to do.
And here's the thing: Sunday we went to a party, and my 12-year-old niece had seen it, and she goes, "Oh my god, that was the scariest thing I've ever seen." So,
Did you punch her in the mouth?
well, I do that just anyway.
Truth or Dare, budget 3.5 million, box office 38.2 so far.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn.
They can't lose. They can even throw a turd out there, and they can't lose. But again, it's not a turd. It's just not for us.
You know, this is something that, not that I wanted to see this movie at all, because I thought maybe it could have been like Happy Death Day, where the trailer did not appeal to me, but it ended up being really good.
Right.
Obviously, that's not the case, but I do like that Blumhouse seems to give these filmmakers money and then just lets them go do their thing, and it doesn't always work. Some of their found footage movies really didn't work, but they're throwing shit out there, and they have more hits than misses, so I can't complain too much.
And look, this one they put in theatrical release, which they tried. They don't do very often, and they try to do it with their sure bets, and this was a sure bet for them. They knew. They know. They must be marketing geniuses. They must. I don't know. I'm sure they've quantified. Jack and I love that fucking word. They've quantified everything, and they know exactly how to do this.
So, did this feel really commercial?
Oh my god, so it's just so commercial, so slick.
Well, I saw they were calling it Blumhouse's Truth or Dare, so I'm curious if that's them.
There's probably 100 movies called Truth or Dare.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Because I don't think a 14-year-old cares.
I'd be curious to see moving forward how much more often we see them attach that, just because their name is starting to get out there. I don't know. Maybe it's just this movie, but I'll be curious to see.
Right. You know what, though? I actually, when all was said and done, I was with my daughter. We watched a horror movie. Even watching a bad horror movie makes me happy. So I was happy. It just, wasn't my thing.
You're not going to get sentimental 2 weeks in a row, are you?
Nope, I'm not. My daughter's a jerk. So I watched another movie that you guys saw on an episode I couldn't do, Tragedy Girls.
Oh, there you go.
Because I figured I just read Riley Sager's Final Girls. I said, oh, let me watch Tragedy Girls. It should be a good 1-2 punch. And I don't know, maybe I was expecting more from it. Because I think it started out strong and then it just kind of petered out towards the end. And I think it lost a lot of that wry humor that it had. It seemed like a different director took over midway through and just didn't read the notes of what the first guy did and just said, whatever, we're just going to lay this out here.
So were you more of a thumbs up, thumbs down, or kind of ambivalent?
I was thumbs sideways. I didn't think it was all that great. It's not bad at all. It wasn't as great as I thought it would be. I actually thought it was kind of boring.
That's damning.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it was a day when I had watched crappy movies, like a bad UFO movie and a bad Bigfoot movie, and I was like, anything is going to seem great right now. And I was like, oh, okay. What did I forget? What did you guys like it?
I loved it. I'm shaking my head, just going like,
Which girl were you attracted to?
Both of them. My God.
Really? I like the girl with the short hair, the blonde.
Megasonic teenage warhead.
Oh, was that her? Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she was gorgeous.
And Storm from the X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, that's what her friend is?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're both gorgeous.
Yeah,
I love that movie. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was entertaining the whole way through. I thought it was one of the best movies of the year.
I thought it was really funny for the first half, and then it just stopped. And I was like, what the hell? Where the hell did this go?
I think I'm right in between the two of you. I liked it. I'm not a thumb sideways. I'd give it a thumbs up, but I didn't love it the way Jack did. But yeah, I liked it.
That's the beauty of opinions.
I think go back and listen to the podcast. I think you liked it better when we watched it, dude.
I said I liked it.
Yeah, but I think you liked it more.
Okay.
He's had time to digest.
I liked it more, but I didn't quite love it.
Please, my two
7.4.
daddies don't fight.
I think you did. I think you're backing
I
off
don't
on your initial position.
It's possible.
All right. Okay, another one I saw, just said, oh, let's watch this. Cabin Fever 2, Spring Break. Oh, that sounded good.
Listen to this. You hear that pouring?
Oh.
That's
no.
round 2.
So did you guys ever see Cabin Fever 2?
No.
Negative.
Now, my wife said, let's just watch this because I think it was on Netflix. I'm like, oh, crap. It's really freaking good. It's Ty West directed it, and he wrote and directed it. So, Ty West, The Innkeeper,
Yeah.
The Devil.
I didn't realize that.
Didn't he disown that movie, or am I thinking of something else?
If he did, he's a fool because look, what are you going to do?
Is this Cabin Fever 2 a sequel to the first one or a sequel to the remake?
A sequel to the first one.
Okay.
And it becomes Cabin Fever mixed with Carrie. So there's a prom and it's over the top. It's funny as fuck. And it's gory. I mean, some of the stuff in there, I think this is another movie with tampon gore. This is becoming a running theme in the last few years. Although this movie I'm probably 8-9 years old at this point. Total shock. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. Watch it. You are going to be so surprised at this. And then watch the Patient Zero and realize, oh God, that's total drag.
That really surprises me because Spring Fever, Cabin Fever 2 Spring Fever, right?
Yep.
It reviewed incredibly poorly.
I know. I think maybe they were wanting another Cabin Fever. This is totally unlike it. It's crazy.
So on Wikipedia it says, after extensive re-editing and reshooting, Ty West requested to have his name removed from the film.
You know what? I guarantee there are people might say that's the best thing he's directed. If they don't
sounds like he didn't direct a whole lot of it.
If they don't like quiet horror, again, this is totally counter to what he's become. So this might be one of those, like, oh, that's not really what I want to do. But you've got body parts flying over the people, taping up things, falling off of them. It's just nuts. And last but not least, I mentioned before, I finally read Final Girls by Riley Sager, which I thought was a woman, but turns out to be a dude. And it's about a woman who is a real life final girl. And there are 2 other final girls who have gone through these horrific things. And it's kind of like the aftermath of, what will happen to your life after you've survived watching all your friends get killed and you've almost gotten killed.
So this is not the novelization of the movie.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. It's really good. It's a page turner, man. For some reason, I thought somebody told me it was like a young adult novel. It's not at all. So
if you read that on a Kindle, is it a page swiper?
It's a swiper. You can swipe while you wipe. It's good turlet reading.
I don't think I've ever actually heard of this book.
It was one of the biggest selling thrillers of 2017, I think. I mean, it was everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. And I bought the trade paperback, which I rarely do when I wander into a bookstore. I usually look for it in the library, but good purchase. My daughter's reading it right now.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You done?
I'm done.
All right, let me blast through mine here quick. Jack, I finally sat down and watched Justice League.
What'd you think?
I cannot believe this movie was released like this.
This is a movie that's like 2 different movies.
This movie cost $250 million, and some of the effects looked like Sci-Fi Channel level stuff. I could not believe how bad this movie looked.
That third act, the total is Sharknado.
This is one of the worst big budget movies, like big budget movies I can think of. I mean, this is Transformers sequels level poor. Worse.
Wow.
The beginning shot with Superman getting recorded by a kid on a cell phone, and he has the CG lip. And the thing is, if you remove that shot from the movie, it doesn't hurt anything. Why in the hell would you put that in the beginning of the movie?
They had established that the world loved Superman, even though there was
Batman
nothing in the earlier movies.
The consistency of the characters was nonsense. The dialogue was painful dialogue.
couldn't you tell like the Zack Snyder scenes versus the Joss Whedon inserts to make it funny?
Oh, well, every joke was Joss Whedon, and most
Or
of them.
there was scenes like where they were clearly like green screened, like Aquaman is like talking, and then all of a sudden it's him with a green screen joke, and then it switches back.
There's this scene in the field with Clark Kent. I don't know if it's Superman or Clark Kent at this point, and you can see when they were actually filming in the field and when it was green screen editions, and it's just mind-boggling that DC is trying to emulate Marvel, but they're doing it in the worst way possible and completely. And I know most people don't like Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, but those movies did huge box office. This is just the worst mishmash of the two worlds they could have possibly done.
Well, this movie only made $657 million.
Yeah, but how much did Batman vs Superman make?
They're trying to course correct, and they do a couple of things in the right direction, but they screw so much stuff turning the boat that it just is a mess.
$872 million for Batman versus. Oh Jesus! It
go.
made more than Wonder Woman.
And poor Gal Gadot just like deserves better.
I was wondering the whole time, was Ben Affleck in this? Was he reading this script or these reshoots thinking, are you fucking kidding me? Like this? I'm signed on for more movies of this?
Oh, he's bailing.
Is he? I thought he was still going to be in the Batman.
He's going to be in one more, and they're thinking for the Batman movies, it might be Jake Gyllenhaal or somebody else.
This movie, I was actually laughing at certain points. I could not believe how poor it looked and how
the stuff they set up in Batman versus Superman gets so poorly paid off in this movie.
Steppenwolf looked so bad.
Oh, possibly the worst villain in the history of superhero movies.
It was
just making over almost $500 million.
Because a lot of people have waited their whole life to see these characters on film, and I think it's people younger than us, Hunter, because we had the Superman TV show, we had the Christopher Reeve and all that other stuff. Then there was a really long gap where you didn't see these guys. These kids grew up on the Justice League cartoons, which are really good. So
watch Justice League Dark or something. Don't watch this shit.
Go back and watch on Netflix the 2 Justice League cartoon series. They're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But they're waiting their whole life, so it's almost like they know it's not good, but it's something, and so they've set the bar so low. Or some people are just blindly.
I guess if you're a DC lover, you got to set the bar as low as possibly it can go.
No. If you think the bar is low, watch this movie. This is so bad it's good territory.
The villain is really. If you thought the villain in Thor: The Dark World was weak, he's freaking Hannibal Lecter compared to these guys.
Good Lord.
I have to stop talking about this because I could rant for hours. I could go scene by scene, line of dialogue by line of dialogue, how fucked up this movie was.
What do you think of Jason Momoa?
I didn't see a point in him being in there. His character, at one point, everyone's getting their asses kicked, and then a hole breaks in the side of a tunnel, and water gushes through, and then he comes through, like right through as the water's coming. So I'm thinking, was this asshole just outside the wall, just hanging out, waiting? Hey guys, can you let me in? I don't know.
Oh God,
it's so impossible.
I wouldn't be useful unless there's water here, so I'm just gonna pop a hole in.
Disagree. He fell from the sky at one point. He was like, the thing is, everyone had so much power in this. I didn't even see the point in them waking up Superman. It's like,
yes.
It was just.
I'm so glad I didn't see this.
Superman's way too powerful too.
There's
a couple of moments. I'll tell you what. The best part of the whole movie is when Aquaman is sitting on the lasso. That's all I'll say.
I hated that part.
I only want to see him leading a Dothraki horde. That's all I care about with him.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better. Okay. I also went back and revisited a movie so that I could review it on the website, which is up now. Evidence, 2012 found footage movie. It was made for $12,000, I think, and so it reminded me, Jack, of The Monster Project. You told me to watch it because is it great in certain ways? No, but they went for it, and they really pushed the limits, and that's what this movie is. Although I think it doesn't have. I think it's maybe done a little better. But
I may have seen this movie. Tell me a little about it.
It starts off with the worst first act you've ever seen. Some kids are going camping, they're filming. One guy's filming a documentary on his friends camping or some dumb shit.
Ah.
Oh, they're hearing noises. Oh, a stranger walks into the camp. But from that point on, the second act gets crazy, and then the third act goes so far off the rails, you could never predict what happens. Is it a movie I would recommend to my parents? No. But if you like found footage movies, this one is different. So it's worth
Where'd you
viewing
find
tonight.
it?
It's free on Prime.
Ooh, that might be what I'm watching tonight.
You got to get through the first third. It feels like it's generic found footage movie.
Right.
But then it just snowballs, and the end is like, what in the hell is going on?
I just watched yet another found footage UFO movie, Alien Abduction. If I could survive that, this will be fine.
This should be a cut above that.
Yeah, at least this has a payoff.
Evidence 2012 on Prime. It's in the show notes. So if anybody wants to check it out and let me know what you think and tell me it sucks and I'm an idiot. Then finally, based on Steve Barnard's recommendation, I watched Terrifier, the new slasher movie with the killer clown. This is, I don't know that it's actually a sequel to All Hallows Eve. There was a section in it that I think there's supposed to be a sequel to, but it's the same character, the same killer clown. I am not the person to review this. If you like torture porn, hardcore slasher kind of movies, you're probably actually going to really love this. I am not a big fan of that genre. I'm a big fan of slashers, but more of the 80s style, naked co-eds. They're smoking pot and there's a crazy.
You're less torture porn and more porn.
Yes. Yeah, actually, that's a good summation. But I can really see some people digging the hell out of this. It's all practical effects, which is fantastic. The effects are really well done. It's short. It's got a good pace. It's just not my thing so much. But I did enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. But if we were to have somebody review this for the site, I would actually want to probably have Steve do it because this is his niche. This is his thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
oh my God, we should just have a Steve Barnard section.
just disembodied buttholes and torture porn.
It's speaking of porn, maybe we should put like those swinging saloon doors before you go into the reviews.
You have to click. I'm old enough 4 times.
I have a brain disease.
The back room with Barnard.
Yeah. Yes, I love that. Steve,
what do you got in a zombie nurse porn movie?
Make sure they're Asian.
Yes.
Steve, let's make this happen. I love this idea. All right. And that's it. I'm done. What you got, Jack?
All right. I watched a movie that I'm sure at least one of you has seen before, but I never watched it, mostly because of the name of the movie, and I decided to finally pull the trigger. I watched Midnight Meat Train.
Oh, the Clive Barker movie. Yeah,
based on a Clive Barker. It's got Bradley Cooper,
Mhm.
sweet Leslie Bibb, and Vinnie Jones. Who
It's-
I
I've heard
love
this
in
name. Sweet Leslie Bibb.
Sweet Leslie Bibb. She's so sweet and kind and pretty. And Vinnie Jones, who I love in Euro Trip.
That movie's got to be.
Manchester United, the greatest football team in all the land. So this movie is ridiculous.
It's nuts.
It's nuts. It's over the top gore, but there's such bad CG in some of the scenes. Like a guy gets hit in the side of the face with a mallet, and this big fake eye flies out. That I think high school me would have liked this movie a lot more than old grumpy me because it's just really dumb. There's an obligatory sex scene between sweet Leslie Bibb and Bradley Cooper that's just so forced. They don't really show anything, but it just kind of happens. Like I feel like they're like checking off the boxes of what has to happen in the movie.
It has a 72% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And do you want to guess how much the budget was on that movie?
$5 million.
It's 10 years ago. 15 million.
I would think. I don't know how big Bradley Cooper was when they made this because I was kind of like, how'd they get him in this? That's part of why I watched it.
10 years ago, so he was nobody.
But when was The Hangover? I mean,
2009?
Yeah, it was like right after. And he probably made this. It came out in 2008. He probably made it in 2006. So, he was nobody.
I could see this being like a good short story. they sort of read and then move on to the next thing.
Mhm.
It's definitely worth watching just because there's so many name brand people in it, and it is crazy over the top. Once you see what's actually going on, you're like, okay.
Yeah, you pair this with Creep, not Creep with Duplass, Creep with the creature in the train. the
Oh, I like
humanoid
that
thing.
movie.
I think that movie's great. That would be an awesome double feature.
And then maybe Terror Train.
No, I can't watch it.
I saw Midnight Meat Train when it first came out, and I barely remember anything about it, but I don't remember.
I think it's on Shudder. It's either Shudder or Prime. I saw it on.
And it's always on
not
cable.
really worth me going back to, though.
It might be worth it. Just like I said, there's so many name brand people in it, and it really goes. I did not know where this was going, and it goes somewhere kind of nutty.
It does.
But I enjoy. I'm glad I watched it because I like watching B movies. So to me, it was like a fun schlocky B movie. If I had been flicking around the channels late at night and I ran into this and I started watching it, I'd be like, "Oh man, I saw this wacky movie with Bradley Cooper was in it. I can't believe it. It was ridiculous." But I wouldn't like go out and buy it on Blu-ray or something like that. It's a big silly movie.
Yeah.
A lot of gore though. A lot of gore.
Yep. Satisfies the gore quotient.
Now, when I was in high school, I went down to my uncle's beach house, and my cousin, who's now all grown up, he's younger than me, it was like late at night, everybody had gone to bed, and I was up watching TV, and he came out, and I had copped upon a movie called Tourist Trap that had Chuck Connors in it.
I thought you were talking about when you were a kid. I thought we were going to say like the Texaco Star Theater.
No. I saw this on TV, and to this day, my cousin and I, every once in a while, will just reference because we just got such a kick out of this movie because we just remembered like a killer with doll faces and stuff, and Dave, I talk really funny. So sometimes we talk to each other like in the Tourist Trap voice because we just had so much fun with it. And all I really remember is Chuck Connors was in it, the rifleman himself, and the werewolf from the TV show Werewolf, and
aren't there telepaths or something in that?
Well, yes. So this is on Shudder. It's a 1979 movie. I went back and watched it, and I'm very glad I did because this is a schlocky, wacky, ridiculous movie that has a killer who sort of has robot kind of dolls, mannequins, and stuff like that. But then there is this whole presence of telekinesis in it that is never really explained. And at first you're like, is this all like his robotics or something? And then things happen. You're like, no, that's got to be like magic or something. But they never really, they just kind of threw it in. And the number one reason you should go back and watch this movie, though, is, and I didn't realize this when I was watching it back in high school, Tanya Roberts is in this movie and looks freaking-tacular.
Oh,
I've always loved the beautiful Tanya Roberts, but this is like her, not in her prime, in her super prime.
Like Beastmaster?
Better than Beastmaster, except you don't see her full frontal like you do with Beastmaster.
Good Lord.
But, like, she's just like, every once in a while, I'm just like, my God, she's so pretty. Like, it's no wonder she was a Charlie's Angel. Like,
yeah.
And this is again why I love having a Shudder. I go back, I find a movie from when I was a kid, and I revisit it, and I didn't have to pay anything. My membership paid for it, and I have a good time. And it's a schlocky mess of a movie, but it's a blast. It's, watch Motel Hell and then this. Motel Hell is better than this movie, but
I would hope so.
As the, if you want to get that 70s horror vibe, I suggest Tourist Trap and just prepare for a ridiculous movie.
I think this might be the first movie they're doing on The Last Drive-In on Shudder with Joe Bob. I think it might be.
Really?
It would be perfect for that.
Yeah, I'd like to see him dissect it.
Last night I watched the movie. I was just flicking around, and I think I found something. I was looking for Pontypool, and I couldn't find it. So,
did you watch A Rare and Pleasant Stranger again?
I didn't feel like going through my Blu-ray pile to find it. I watched a movie called Bad Match. which is this thriller that is basically about a guy who's like a womanizer, and he's on like a Tinder app, and he's dating girls and basically having sex with them and then dumping them, or leaving in the middle of the night, never calling them. Then he goes out with this super hot chick, and he is going out with like supermodel looking girls, and he's like, oh, I just want to get away from them, like whatever. He leaves this girl, she gets very upset, and then it seems that she is taking out revenge on him by ruining his life, and then he's reacting to her ruining his life. It was really lacking in the thriller horror part until the third act. It's kind of predictable, but the third act sort of rescues it, because I was waiting for something major to happen. It's not a great movie, but it turned out to be, because it kind of goes in a good little place, and so you get a little bit of payoff. So if you're looking for something different on Netflix, there's a lot of movies I'd watched before this, but it's you could check it out. Like,
I think I added that to my list too.
It's okay. You're gonna figure out what's going on. So, I can't say it's a great movie, but it was good enough for I was looking for something that I hadn't heard of before, and
Passable.
It's what it is. It was they didn't have much of a budget, and you felt like they kind of, and the lead actor guy, you kind of get in. He's sort of annoying, which I guess he's supposed to be.
Right.
I've had this on my list for a while, but I haven't watched it because everyone's review has been pretty much the same as yours.
Again, like I was getting frustrated going through and just I couldn't find something I wanted to watch. And it's short. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. So I was like,
beautiful.
So that's it for me.
All right.
I'm
Ready
spent.
to jump into some Pontypool?
Pontypool.
Jump into Pontypool.
All right, we'll be right back.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
So as we said, this week's main feature is a little movie from, 2008?
2008, that's correct.
Pontypool, directed by Bruce McDonald, written by Tony Burgess, based on his novel, Pontypool Changes Everything. And it stars good old Stephen McHattie.
I love him.
Now, I know this is your movie, Hunter. You picked this. Give us a summation.
Okay. I think earlier you called it, what did you call it? What kind of zombie movie?
Pseudo-zombie, something I called it.
Yeah. It is, here's the thing. I went to school to be a DJ, so I was very excited that there was a horror movie about a DJ. So Stephen McHattie is this grizzled, Slim Jim looking piece
Looks
of
like
jerky.
an old leather shoe.
Oh my God. I think they modeled him after Imus.
Totally.
And he's in this radio station, and he's there with his station manager, and this is it's a kind of pseudo zombie virus outbreak movie where a lot of the action is stuff that he's getting over the airwaves from people calling in and stuff like that. And it's all happening outside of his radio station. It's set in this little town in like Ontario, Canada. And you get this feeling that it's way out there, but it's also hard to tell because so much of this is in the station itself.
The whole thing.
Yeah. So there's good gore when there is some gore, but there's not a ton. This is, to me, it's one of my favorite quote unquote zombie movies, only because it is so different. If you'd like 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, I think you'll dig this. And there is a concept in here that no one else has even tried, and I thought it's brilliant. And Stephen McHattie is freaking awesome.
He really is fantastic in this.
I mean, good Lord, he is like I guess he took over Lance Henriksen's place, right? He's Lance Henriksen with a little bit better chops. Acting wise,
I don't know. Whatever. They're both awesome.
His IMDb page scrolls on forever. There's a thing in there. He was on like soap opera in the 50s. So he has been around forever and a day and 5 more minutes. and he brings something to this, man.
All right, Jack, what you think?
So I wasn't able to watch this one again, clearly, but I liked it the first time I saw it. I got to be honest, when we said we were going to watch this one, I wasn't thrilled because although I watched it, I never really had an urge to go back and watch it again. I felt like it was pretty good. It did something different, so it was very enjoyable. But it was almost like the movie Castaway. I liked it. I sat through the whole thing. I thought it was great. And I was like, I never need to see that movie again. Because I thought the cool premise that they go with was interesting, if not a little bit of a stretch, but whatever. We're talking zombies. So I liked it a lot. I really did. When I saw this, you got to see, and I would put it on you should definitely check this out. There's so many crap zombie movies, and this one does something so original. It's all set in this radio station. It's almost all dialogue. You're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. It's a great movie. I was actually curious to see if sitting through it a second time, though, what I would think. So if it ever comes back, I'll definitely watch it again.
I know, it's so sad. I should have bought that movie when I had the chance off of Stephen McHattie.
Off of him? You saw him?
Yeah, I in fact was being an ass to him as I got drunker as the day went on, and I just every time I walked by his booth, I went Pontypool, Pontypool. Like it was cool early in the day, and then it was not cool anymore.
You're the reason he had to leave.
Hey, he stayed. He's a trooper. I'm just the reason he doesn't go to anymore, probably.
Jesus Christ. So I actually do own this, which is how I was able to watch it again, fortunately.
Nice.
Because as we were saying, when I went to look, you just can't get this damn thing. I don't know what happened, if the distributor dropped it or what the hell happened, but it's not widely available anymore. I actually really like this movie. I dig the pacing. I think the dialogue is really weird, but it completely works with the story. At the beginning, when he's talking about the news and he's kind of going on and on, conspiracy theory shit or whatever, his cadence is a little weird. His dialogue's a little weird, and she's trying to keep him on point. And I thought that was actually a pretty cool precursor to the way the movie went then, as language started changing and things got a little weird. So,
right.
I think this is another one of those movies that if the two main actors aren't on point, this is gonna suck. But fortunately, I thought McHattie and what's the other woman's name? Lisa
Howell.
Is that her name?
Do you want to know why they were so good together?
They're married, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
It's gotta be a bit of an age gap there. That or he spent a lot of time in the sun.
I think both. Yeah. He's 1,000 miles of bad road.
They had great chemistry. I thought just the way it was shot was simple. It was effective. I like the idea. I think I've been bitching about the zombie genre since we started this. I'm going to continue to bitch about it. I watched a zombie movie this week I didn't mention because it just felt generic. This, to me, stands out in the sea of them as just a unique... It's not even a zombie film. I just call it that because it has a lot of the same tropes. But I really like this movie. I think it's an underrated gem that I'm not sure a lot of people have actually seen.
I always think if I was going to put together a list of like 25 movies that you have to see that are not like the ones that everybody talks about, this is probably it's in my top 10, me personally, of movies I'd say watch this, only because of the cadence of the dialogue and the uniqueness. It's taking something that's so tired and making it so different, and the performances. It's such a tight movie.
There's a handful of this umbrella genre, zombies and pseudo zombies, that like Rambach is one. Wormwood. There's a few of these ones, and Pontypool would go in there of like these. Not everybody has seen these, but you're like, oh my god, if you're looking to rent something tonight or Netflix something or whatever, and you find this, it's gold. Watch these because there's so much crap out there like this. I haven't watched this new Day of the Dead like you had reported on. I'll watch it eventually. So bad, all that crap, and everybody sees that. And then nobody's seen Pontypool, or like you saw Rambach, right? The German one. Yeah,
that was good. That's only an hour long too.
It's so good. Like there's a whole group of those like little nuggets, gems that you're like, no, why aren't these more readily available? It's ridiculous that we can't watch Pontypool right now.
Let's be clear. This is not a zombie movie, nor are there any zombies in it. In fact, the director says they are not zombies; they're conversationalists. So,
oh, well, all right.
They fall under the infected.
it's a plague that works its way into your brain in a very unique and specific way. And then it makes people it takes them through different phases, and the last phase is I basically want to eat your mouth. I want to eat the thing that's making these words. So
yeah, should we jump into spoilers here before we?
It's a 10-year-old movie, right?
10-year-old movie nobody can see. I don't know. I don't know if it matters or not.
And everyone can go to Jason's house and watch.
You know, you could give away the twist without giving away the ending. So
Stephen McCaddy's pregnant.
So
damn it! Why did you say that?
Yeah,
Ponty,
there's basically
baby.
3 stages of it, and I don't know that I want to go into the stages without us being in spoilers because it kind of is the twist on the film. But
Yes.
yeah, definitely not zombies. But like I said, the tropes are kind of there. The other thing I wanted to mention too was, well, no, that's a little bit of a spoiler. Okay, good performance. All in, essentially 3 rooms, I would say.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And a little bit of the exterior of the station.
Yeah, like you see a door and a wall. That's about it. But
yeah,
for something with such a small cast and so few locations, particularly the first time I watched it, I was really into this. I thought they did a great job with the sound effects of the guy calling in from the helicopter and the news things they were pushing out there. He had like a toy he was using, and they managed to keep the pace moving, even though essentially nothing is happening inside the frame. He's just sitting there talking into a microphone, but they managed to keep it going.
That was part of the genius of that. Oh, by the way, I looked up what the box office was for this. Get ready. This is enormous. It pulled in $32,000 worldwide. It was released in 1 theater for 2 weeks in the U.S. and then I guess a couple of theaters outside the U.S.
Just to say they had a theatrical, probably.
Yeah. So God knows what they made on the other side of things, but it does have like an 83 or 88% Rotten Tomatoes score. So this was a critical darling. It just didn't get the release it should have. And considering the schlock that gets released, it blows my mind when movies like this don't.
Yeah,
but then they probably won't make money. I guess.
Can see why somebody would be hesitant to throw money into a release for it, because it's probably hard to push a movie where people are just sitting in chairs the whole time. But it's just a shame because it's so damn good. It's just, I understand, but it sucks.
The writing in this movie is so far and above most of, I'm going to say probably 95% of what comes out in this genre. It's almost like if you said to David Mamet, I want you to write a horror movie. And he's like, well, it's going to be dialogue. And it's like, go right ahead.
Well,
use your words.
Let's pull the expectations down a little bit.
Look,
it's not quite his level here.
I'm just in horror. It's like whoever the David Mamet of horror would be.
Can we track how many people are turning off the podcast at the David Mamet talk?
You know what? They can go F themselves. Go ahead, turn off.
Before we jump into spoilers here quick and just talk about the twist a little bit, it sounds like everybody thinks this is worth watching if you can somehow get your hands on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And if
hopefully Prime gets it back. It was on Prime for a year.
It's a perfect movie for that, isn't it?
Yes.
You don't want to spend $10 on something that you might not like, and this is a great way to find it. But I don't know what happened. So,
yeah, they lost the rights. Literally from the moment we said we're going to watch it when it was time to watch.
The name is not doing it any favors because I actually had known about that movie for a while and wouldn't even look at it. I was like, what the hell is that? And then I think, Hunter, maybe you saw it or somebody I know saw it. I was like, well, you should watch Pontypool. I was like, oh, really?
I told you that. We were filming Monster Men or something because I didn't see it when it first came out. It was years later.
Yeah, the name, I agree, is not helping it. It's such a weird name. Even if you were to tell me that's the name of the town, oh, okay, that's bizarre. So.
It sticks with you, though, once you get it.
Like Midnight Meat Train.
Snakes on a plane.
Intercourse with a vampire.
Meat on a plane.
Have you read the book?
I haven't, and doing research for this, I didn't realize it's the second book in a trilogy.
I saw that, and I read the descriptions because I was thinking about buying them, and it doesn't even seem like they have anything to do with each other.
You know what? The first one is the Hellmouths of Bewdley. I don't know. I'm gonna get a copy and I'm gonna read it, just because. Then I have to read this one because I have to find out how different it is. And then the last one is Caesarea, which is
that's close.
Sure is pulling something out of somewhere.
Yeah. I'd be curious. I even saw the reviews. The book did not review well on Amazon or on Goodreads. So I'm curious if the weird dialogue transitions into the book and back and forth or whatever, and maybe that's why people didn't like it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Tony Burgess, I think he wrote the screenplay too.
Yep, he did.
All right, so it'll be interesting. I'm gonna check them out. Faux show.
All right, let's jump into spoilers here quick. Hunter, do you want to tell us? I think you mentioned the 3 stages of this thing. How it infects people.
It infects people. It's an earworm, basically. So it's verbal cues repeat themselves over and over in your head, and the virus is attached to certain words. At one point, they're telling people not to say any. What do I remember? Like no terms of endearment or Baby talk. Yeah,
It's infected the English language.
Yes,
which I thought is such a cool idea.
This being a Canadian movie, was this them saying, "Yeah, see, you should speak French"? Eh? Look what those Americans would do to you. That to me, that part blew me away. I'm like, genius idea. I mean, is it possible? Maybe. Subliminal suggestion or something like that. Could it make you rabid? Who cares? It's a horror movie.
Make America great again.
Pontypool is huge.
Yeah, I thought that was such a neat idea. And then I liked, was it maybe at the halfway point when the professor climbs through the window and they're trying to suss things out? And he's basically telling them you need to stop talking on the radio because people hearing you could become infected. But then their dilemma is we need to tell people what's happening. But in doing so, we could make it worse, even though we're trying to make it better. So I thought that was a cool plot point.
And also the way that they were trying to use language against it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To try to, like when his station manager, she gets infected and he's trying to use language to get her to snap out of it and stay with him. Man.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Jack? If you remember that.
I remember it, and I remember thinking it was kind of cool, but I remember, again, like I said, like thinking like, okay, this is like, it's cool, like once, like, because it is so out there that I really thought it was cool, but also sort of like, okay, got it. So I don't know what I would think on the second watch. I don't know I don't know if I'd have the patience the second time, because the first time you're like, what the hell is going on? So I wish I could have seen it again.
I've seen it twice. I'd liked it better the second time. Even I knew it was coming, but then I was watching the setup of how it all worked, and
yeah, that's why I think I might enjoy it. Some of it, though, I'm just like, okay, this is a little bit on the.
Yeah, well, no, I actually agree with what you're saying. From the first time I watched it, this is weird. There's some weird stuff at the beginning. It's just McHattie talking, and it almost sounds like nonsense half the time, and I don't understand what the hell it is. But then having seen the movie and watching it a second time, it explains more of some of the weirdness of it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I appreciated watching it again. I really did.
Again, though, I think it's so original, and that somebody could write this and flesh it out and then execute it as a movie. Kudos to them, because it is so original and hard to pull off. Like the fact that they were able to make an entertaining movie out of such a sort of, I don't know, complicated. It's not the
high
right
concept.
It might. It's a. You have to think a little bit. For it to.
Yeah, and even the way that they beat it, well, sort of beat it. It wasn't with bullets like most zombie movies or getting in a helicopter and leaving. It was changing your understanding of a word. And that was how they were able to beat the virus that infects you through language. I thought that was cool. It's not something, if you want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger mowing down zombies, you're not going to be happy with that. But
Pontypool. By the way, here's a little bit of trivia. Did you know that Stephen McHattie used to be married to Meg Foster?
God damn.
No.
That guy's got some skills.
Again, I had an incident with Meg Foster where we were in an elevator.
Jesus Christ.
Meg Foster is really out there. She's into like meditation stuff, and she's looking at me and she goes, you have such an aura. It's so beautiful. And she's talking to me.
Then she smelled you and went, oh, never mind.
Well,
See ya.
here's the best part. We were going down because her room was next to mine. So we were going down to the floor and she starts hugging me. And like one of these long, like weird, uncomfortable hugs. And the doors open and there's my wife. Seeing me hugging Meg Foster. And I was like, oh, Meg, this is my wife. And my wife was like, okay. And I was like, are you mad? She goes, no. She goes, get your rocks off. I know you used to like her.
Good old Meg Foster.
Yes.
Two more things I want to mention about this quick before we get out of here. One, I thought the setup they did with the, I don't know if she's an assistant or I don't know, was she training there? The younger girl who was in the military?
Oh, yeah. I forget.
I thought they did a really good job having a couple lines of dialogue at the beginning when he's on the radio explaining how she was a big deal in the community. She'd just gotten back from Iraq. And the way they set it up actually made you care about her, even though she doesn't have much to do in the movie. She kind of has a little more backstory than the others to a degree. And then when they just crushed her, I thought that was really well done.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I'm the worst person to ask because I love every aspect of this movie.
And then the other thing I wanted to mention is the post-credit sequence, which is so freaking bizarre.
Oh, which was supposed to be the actual ending.
Yes, which I would not have been happy about. I gotta tell you.
No, me either.
I don't know if you saw this the first time, Jack, but it's McHattie and his wife, Lisa, or whatever. They are in Asia somewhere in some kind of Japanese garb or something, and
Yep.
they're speaking like they're in an old movie. Like he's almost a gangster or something in an old movie. And it's in black and white, and it slowly fades into color. And they're talking about, we need to get out of here. But again, the dialogue's really weird. And then I think she goes to say a term of endearment to him, and he shushes her, and it ends.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, so what is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. The best I could come up with was they had survived the end of the movie and they were having to speak to each other in a weird way because the language is infected. So they're communicating in a way that most people wouldn't. I guess.
I think that's what it was. I'm glad that wasn't the ending they stuck with.
If that had been the ending, I actually don't think I would have liked this movie because it was so weird.
Yeah, no. I don't even know why they bothered showing it to us. Like, just leave it on the cutting room floor.
I would love to get an explanation of that. So I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I read about the movie and I read about that scene and I don't remember. I watched this movie like 4 years ago or something, so I don't really remember if I watched the after scene or not.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Yeah. All right, so we all recommend it. Good luck finding it.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's all right. It's an essential. Find it. You will find it. So
yeah, eventually you'll find it. Definitely see it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you guys want to add before we get out of here?
My Jason tattoo is healed up nicely, so I'm ready to fill it in someday but not on $13 tattoo day. That might cost more.
Just get a marker. It'll be fine.
Yeah, sure.
Jack, anything?
I got nothing.
All right.
Yeah, we know.
Next week, we're going to go see a small indie film called The Avengers, something or other. I don't know.
At least two of us are.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not going.
I actually know nothing about this. I saw the first trailer, and then I didn't want to see anything else. So I'm going in pretty cold. So I'm actually looking forward to it.
Anthony Mackie said something great. I saw this quote. He said, "Don't worry if you hear a spoiler, because so much happens in this movie that it won't matter after you see the movie." I was like, oh my God. And the early buzz coming out of people are like, I was expecting something big and crazy, but like what you got. So there's incredible positive coming out so far. So I'm like a little kid right now. So I'm going Thursday night IMAX. I'm fired up.
I'm actually excited to go see this Marvel movie, so I'm pretty pumped for that. Hopefully it's good. I actually have a lot of theories about it that I'll probably write down beforehand to see if I was correct. But so that's
me and the guys at work, we all have a million theories, and like I can't wait till we see each other and be like, wow, none of us were right.
So that's next week, and also the website has been completely revamped. We're looking to go a lot deeper in written reviews. So I just put the first one up. I think there's actually 7 now, but the first one I put
Yeah.
up since it's done. You can go there. You can sort by category. You can sort by all kinds of stuff. Newest review, the whole shebang. And hopefully we'll start pumping those out and maybe start getting some interviews or features or something up there. So check out finalguys.com. Going to be a lot of content going up soon, hopefully.
Get
And
on
that's
it, Scoop.
And subscribe to us on iTunes.
Yes, for the love of God, give us a review on iTunes.
Mm.
All right, people. We will see you next week.
Goodbye, people.
Goodbye.